I know I promised we were going to plant some soybeans today. It's not looking good. After thinking hours on end and changing my time multiple times, and I mean like hundreds of times, we're going to go plant some beans today. I think planting would not be the wrong decision. Notice I didn't say it was the right decision. All right, here we go. This year, our full season soybean acres are going to be down quite a bit from last year because realistically, when you look at the prices and the yield potential, the input costs, full season soybeans offer us the least amount of potential income. We got corn right now at over $5 a bushel. We got cotton at over 80 cents a pound. Wheat we got in the mid $6 range. So, our greatest potential for income is cotton and wheat, and then double crop soybeans, followed by corn, followed by full season beans. So, with us losing the amount of acres that we lost this year, just trying to maximize our revenue, we cut our full season soybean acreage by the greatest percentage. Now, we can still make, if we can get 70, 80 bushel soybeans like we've done in the past, we can still make good money on it. But we're probably not going to make as much money as if we're making 70, 80 bushel soybeans, most likely we're going to be making 175 to 200 bushel per acre corn, or 1,200 plus pound cotton. So, and then you throw wheat and double crop soybeans in the mix. Our double crop soybeans planted behind wheat, a lot of times we can average up there around 50 bushels per acre. So you throw 50 bushels per acre soybeans along with, hopefully an 80 to 85 bushel per acre wheat crop, you can see that you're going to make quite a bit more money off of having those two crops on the ground in 1 year rather than one crop of full season soybeans that would be yielding, a little bit higher than what your double crop soybeans can yield. But total this year, I think we're going to have about 140 acres of full season soybeans. Our full season soybeans are primarily going on the ground that is too wet to put wheat on, and and this is the year in the rotation for that ground to have a crop of soybeans on. We can't put wheat on it, so we're going to plant full season soybeans. We're shooting for at least 65 bushels per acre on our soybeans. If everything aligns just right, there shouldn't be any reason why on the ground that we got it planted on that we can't yield, between 70 and 80 bushels per acre. But there's a lot of things that have to fall in line for that to happen. We can't have very many cloudy days whenever the soybeans are setting pods and filling out pods. We can't have a drought. We can't have too hot of a weather for us to be able to achieve those kinds of yields. Every year we enter into a soybean yield competition, and for the most part, our competition yields on soybeans come in. It's usually between 80 and 90 bushels an acre. I think 1 year we had a competition yield of 93 bushels an acre. So, with our management practices, we can't hit some really high yields. It's just really tough to hit those yields consistently across the whole farm. Anyway, what our goal today is hopefully to get the majority of these soybeans planted. We got a variety trials with Pioneer and the University of Tennessee that we've got to put in first thing tomorrow mornings. We got this one bigger farm that we're on now. I think got about 70 acres here to do. Then we got a couple of smaller farms to get done. We're gonna try and get them done, and then get over to the final field to where we go and have our test plots. At the very least, I want to get the inrows laid off for the test plots, and if we get a good part of that field planted today, and that way it just leaves us tomorrow with the test spots and maybe just a little bit of getting wrapped up. I'd consider that a real good day. I had someone ask a question in our first planting video: do we use all of the units when planting? Well, right now when we're planting soybeans, yes, we're using all of the units. The front units are centered in between the rear units on the toolbar. So when we're planting soybeans, we're planting them on narrow rows, which means that there's 19 inches in between each row. Now on corn and cotton, we just use the rear units because we plant our corn and cotton on wide rows or 38 inch. And the front ones, we can lift them up and lock them up to where they are not running on the ground. And we can disable the drives on the front units to where only the meters on the rear units are turning whenever we're planting corn and cotton. Well, it looks like Zach just got done rebuilding this levee over here. It's over there in that corner. Got blowed out this winter washing some sand out into the field. Looks like he got it built up about another 5 feet. Looking good.
We may be fancy with the new R-Series sprayer and the fully loaded new planter, but we still ain't as fancy as the neighbors running that 9RX and that new John Deere speed tiller out there. Oh, I wish I had zoom on this camera. I could zoom in and let you see that thing kicking up the cloud of dust it's doing over there.
One of the big decisions in going ahead and starting to plant today was just how dry this ground is. Very uncommon for this time of April. Right now we're in a bottom that traditionally is pretty wet, and over here in this corner where I'm at is usually one of the wettest places. Just real heavy ground, got a lot of clay in it, got a lot of white ground in it. And you know, it's not uncommon to plant this thing on time. You got to pick your planter up and just go through some spots because there's water standing or just plain too wet. We got a real good, pretty good cover crop growing down here. And if you look at this little drain through here, normally there is water standing in places of it, just like right over there. You can see it's dry as a bone and planting great. I really didn't want to pass up this opportunity of planting this field, and we got another field that's traditionally real wet. I didn't want to pass up the opportunity to go ahead and get that planted into some real good conditions, because if we waited, you know, we're supposed to get anywhere from a ½ inch of rain to an inch of rain Friday night into Saturday, and then another real good chance of rain on Wednesday. You know, these wet spots can turn out wet real quick. And really, once there's water standing, that soil's wet, there's really not much chance of getting the seed to come up in those kind of spots. At least by getting the seed in there now with good conditions in these wet spots, or at least giving the soybeans a fighting chance of coming up and making a stand. All right, we're on the last couple of passes of this farm. We should be pretty close to out of seed, so as soon as we finish these last few passes, we're gonna fill up a seed and move on to the next farm. But everything's going pretty smoothly, rocking right on along. I think Zach and Kelly are going to be spraying behind me because we're spraying a residual in addition to the burn down, and I don't want them to spray the residual on the soil and then my row cleaners come through there and move some soil around and move the chemical around. I'd much rather have it applied behind the planter. Also got the roller crimper over here. The cover crop over here isn't big enough or mature enough to crimp. But the next farm we're going to, it's got a lot better stand, a lot thicker and a lot taller. I think we're going to try and crimp it this afternoon. I don't know, with any luck, this will be the first day of planting where we actually get home at a pretty reasonable time. As you can see over here, soil temperature is warmed up significantly since this morning. We're up here in the mid-60s now. Mid-60s soil temperature and dry soil equals very good germinating conditions for soybeans. Alright, filled up with seed, on to the next farm. Well, we finally got done these fields up here in Madison County. We're heading on back to Crockett County. And I tell you what, getting out of the city limits of Jackson is one of the most miserable drives I've ever had. I swear it's like I was invisible to people. Of course, it didn't help that it was rush hour. Like, people didn't even see me. They wouldn't check up for nothing coming down the road, even if I didn't have a place to pull off. They would turn on into the road right in front of me. And I couldn't wait like another 5 seconds for me to get past where they were turning on to. And the shoulders of the road up there around Jackson are either non-existent or just rough as all get out. But anyway, we got a 13-acre farm we got to get done and then get moved over to our last field and get our seed run out over there this evening, because we got to plant University of Tennessee and Pioneer test plots first thing in the morning, and I don't want to have to vacuum out a lot of seed in the morning, so we're going to try and get his planter as close to empty as possible. Alright, here we go. Wonder how many times I'm going to lose GPS in this field with those tall tree lines. It's already been an issue several times today.
And the circus continues. I've caught up on spraying. Now I've got to jump in the roller crimper. Got a little 14-acre field to roll. The cover crop got planted back there in corn, so it should be good to go. And here's a better view of that speed tiller. They actually had 2 of them out. Those things rocking and rolling at 13 miles an hour. I imagine them guys are blowing through the acres today. Anyways, I'm gonna get on down the road and try to get caught back up in Matt.
Welcome to soybean planting. Only 1 day and a half. I have been waiting for phone calls that never came. And helped Zach move the crimper. And then we came and got the water truck and the sprayer. He's got to go spray one more farm, and then when he's done with that, he's going to bring me back out here because I have the GMC, and then I'm going to drive out home. And it's after 7 o'clock at night. I've been under the weather. Mother Nature and her temperature changes have caused me to feel like absolute chicken poop. So I've been at home, hoping that the weather gets better because I really don't feel good. Really wanting it to get warm and cotton planting to start. So that's all she wrote for me. Very exciting life. Very exciting.
Alright, that field's done. On to the next field. I know I'm biased. Well, you can't beat an April West Tennessee sunset. Man, that's beautiful. right, we're all done for the day. A lot later than what I was planning. It's 9 o'clock now, but we had a few issues when we got over here to this farm. I had an expansion port for one of those new smart farmers I put on. It went bad, so it took me a while to diagnose and figure out exactly what it was, but we just got it disabled. It doesn't affect the planting, it just affects some of the data I'm collecting, so no big deal. And then trying to run all this seed out, had to even out all the seed and all 23 hoppers a couple times just to make it to where we got less seed to vacuum out in the morning, get going that much quicker. So anyway, I'm gonna call it a day, head on in, and I'll see y'all bright and early tomorrow. Well, good morning. How's y'all's morning looking? Let me show you what mine's looking like. Y'all check this crap out. Beautiful sunset just a few hours ago. Rain on the hood this morning. This stuff wasn't supposed to show up for like at least another 12 to 16 hours. But we had some showers come through this morning. Not a whole lot, but it's going to make the top of the ground just a little sticky, and it's cover crops wet and just really cold and not too pleasant out here. But we only like maybe 27, 28 acres of being done. We got these test plots to plant, so I mean we're going to go ahead and get them done. They calling for an inch of rain over the next 24 hours or so, and then they calling for rain again coming in Wednesday. For better or for worse, we're going to go ahead and get these plots in. Let's get out there before any more rolls in. Alright, all 30 plots are in now. We got 19 acres left on this field. We're going to fill up with the last bit of our seed. Get these last 19 acres knocked out and carry this planter on back to the shop. Alright guys, here it is, the last pass of the soybean planting. And after a damp, nasty morning of planting soybeans, guess what decided to pop out? The sun. Go figure, after I got my boots all good and wet this morning, now it's going to turn off nice and pretty and dry. But only going to be that way for a few hours before the main storm system comes in. That's coming in sometime tonight. So all our beans are in the ground. All we can do is hope and pray that they come on up and be productive along with our corn now. Well guys, I want to fold up this planter, get on into the shop. Got some record keeping stuff got to tend to up in the office. Appreciate y'all riding along with me the last couple days. Hopefully we won't be doing any planting for about 2 weeks until it gets time to put some cotton in the ground. Hopefully we won't have to get this planter out to do any replanting. Anyway, not sure what the next video is going to bring, but we'll see you in the next one.